Good morning. How's everybody doing? I believe it was Wednesday afternoon, I was notified that we had a leak in the line on Falls Boulevard. We went and checked it out. What appeared to be a sprinkler or landscaping line turned out to be a water main, Hillsborough County water main. Thursday, the county came by to look at it, took a peek at it, realized that the leak was bigger than what normally would be something they could just send out a few guys to repair. The line was approximately 6 to 7 feet under the ground, underneath a couple power lines as well. So it took a little bit of an undertaking to repair that line. In that process, once they shut the water off, when they went to turn the water back on, it was apparent that either A, through their own negligence, they turned the water on too fast, caused several backflow devices to basically fail, and several people in the community, approximately 55, were in a situation where they had no water. We spoke with Hillsborough County. Mrs. Jackson actually was very instrumental in helping me. We were on the phone for about an hour and a half on Friday after this all occurred, discussing with each other the best way to find a solution. Since your backflows are part of your residence and your responsibility, however, knowing that we had that issue, we wanted to make sure we did everything we could to assist you. Ms. Jackson was very helpful in getting a hold of some people at the county to find out what do we need to do so that the issue for you guys did not remain your issue if there was any way possible. In discussions with the county sent some forms, said if you have any damage, please send this form in with the receipts from the plumber who did your repairs, and they will investigate the issue and see what they can do about reimbursing. So that's where we are today, is we're looking at an issue of people with the backflow devices who failed. The other issue is answering some questions regarding the boil water notice and what association responsibilities lie in a situation like this. So going back to the original issue, when the line was found to be faulty, the county came out with a plan. Apparently the plan, when this community was built, the original plan was sent in. The plan they came out with had a single line of service coming into the entire community, which we obviously know is not the case now. Well, we knew that it's not the case, so we knew we had an issue with the valves they were looking to close as compared to what is the reality in the community. So in the communication we sent out, we were really unaware of exactly what homes were going to be shut off. The initial estimate by the county was this building and some of the surrounding homes would not be affected unless they were unable to get the water shut off there. Then they would have to come back to a further valve and shut off the entire community. That was their initial assessment. As things went on, and you notice there are 2 main lines coming into this community, which they were, it's not on their plan. We knew some people would not be affected. But we could not tell who would not be affected. The county felt Shell Falls, that area would be shut down, but they also felt the entire back of the community would be shut off. That was their, looking at the plan, that's what they expected to happen. So during that process, as it all ended up, I don't know, can I get a show of hands how many people actually lost water? So quite a few, and probably why you're here. So how many people in the same group, how many people actually have failed backflows? Good amount of you are here. I know in total, I believe there's around 55 we found information on. So I'll get to that in a second. That's really a big part of what we're here for. The same resolution you're looking for, the association has to work with as well, as far as getting repairs done to where they came in and repaired the actual line. We have to do the same process you do. We have to go in through this system, input the same paperwork. The county comes out, reviews it, and then they reimburse whatever costs that we expended within reason and whatever was done by a licensed contractor. That's what the county is saying.
David? Hi everybody, I'm Laura Jackson. They didn't specifically state that they would reimburse. However, I have been in contact with them, basically on a couple-hour basis. The forms that have to be sent out, Jason has them. I got them. Originally, it looks like it's for a motor vehicle accident when you take a look at the form. And when you, thank you. Hi. So when you look at that form, you're going to think, what's wrong here? I didn't have a car accident. I lost water. And if you read the fine print, and there's a block box in the middle, which Jason can show you, or I can show you, it asks for you to describe what happened. So what I did, and what I'm suggesting anyone that had a call licensed contractor to do, just put the attached A, put a big A at the top of it. Remember that you're working with the county, not a private facility. I talked on Monday afternoon, I left a message and/or talked to approximately 8 people. I started at the top with our commissioner, because that's the person, and I found out that our commissioner has changed. That's the person that actually is going to want our vote in about a year or two. And that went down, and I went only to the higher officials, and I got 3 calls back. They were supposed to make a decision on yesterday, what they were planning on doing, reimbursing, non-reimbursing, but I'm pretty sure that they will be reimbursing. I did tell them if they chose not to reimburse anyone, that I have absolutely no problem contacting Bay News 9 and letting them know 55 and over residents with approximately 55 homes were out of water for 2 to 3 days. And then it was mandated if we wanted to get water back, that we had to spend excessive money. Our home, I did the whole thing because I didn't want this to happen again, was $641. I know some of you got to wait for 2 or 3. From what I understand, and I'm not a plumber, I don't know what the word backflow means nor anything else. If you got it repaired and it's still above ground, I don't believe the county would be this stupid to make this mistake again, but if they do, you stand a really strong chance of having that blown out. I'm not suggesting that you put it underground. My husband and I decided to do that because we never want to go through this again. But if you decide to do that, that's going to cost you another $200 to $300. Hi.
Our plumber said that he was in here also repairing several that have been put in the ground.
What is that? See, that's good information because we've asked, and we haven't heard.
Yeah, Apollo Beach Plumbing, he's been repairing them right up just as many as above ground.
Yeah.
So he said to us, there's no point in burying it.
You know, as I said, I am not a plumber. I live here like the rest of everyone in this room. So I can only tell you what my contractor told us and put in writing for us.
Our plumber told
This is
us,
my husband, Chris.
our plumber told us that when we put it underground, it would never happen again. Never had to worry about it.
And
That's
the
what I was
plumbers
told
are
too.
repairing them.
That, because it's got 2 valves instead of 1. And because it's got the same valve.
He said he's repairing them right now.
Is that right?
Okay, so anybody who ends up, hopefully this stays in a good conversation and is informative so we can place this on the website so people can watch it and pick up information. And if that is the case and you do have underground backflows that you had installed that did fail and had to be replaced, we would definitely like to hear about that too. You know, obviously you're going to fill out the same form to send it to the county for reimbursement, but we want to learn so that we can give information out to the community. Even at the board for, I don't know how long prior to me being here, was given information to have people buried underground. It is easier for the community, I will say that. It's less, less likely to be run over by a lawnmower. It's less likely to be broken. But the idea behind it is that has less capability to fail. The way it's designed, the way it's built, there's less likelihood for it to fail. So that's one of the main reasons we're going to it. The county is also a proponent of putting the underground version because of a situation like this. The above ground ones, just in the way they're designed, are designed to fail in the case that something occurs, so that water that's inside your home doesn't go back into the city or the county water source, and it may have contaminants in it from your home. That's the point of the backflow system.
How do we know if it's not?
So The above ground ones are easy to tell. Many of you have the above ground
I
ones.
have the buffer, how do I know?
There would be water flowing out of the bottom of it, and your water would not be coming on inside your home.
Okay, if you submerge it now underground, how do you know if you've got a problem? Your water, your grass in one spot is really green. When the
So,
water don't come.
here's what will happen on an underground version. You won't get any water. Because the way that, so anybody who, like hydraulics or hydraulic systems, there's a check valve. Water flows one way. When it tries to go the other, there's a spring with a little ball in it that pushes back the other way to keep the water from flowing that way. In the underground versions, generally what happens is water stops completely. Looks like this. It's an inline check valve. It stops water from going backwards into the city line. If this fails, generally, either you'll get a very low flow or you'll get no flow of water because the check valve will have seized in the other position so that it's back the other way.
Question, mine was happening, I lost water Friday, then it came back on, so I wasn't without water for very long, and I didn't see any water going from the backflow, but today I'm noticing it's dripping. What does that mean?
So what that means
Same
is
thing.
you're still having flow of water inside your home.
I'm still have the same water pressure
And you're
flow.
just seeing it probably dripping every 2 seconds, every so many seconds.
I just noticed it today, and before I didn't notice it, I guess because yesterday they were doing lawn stuff, and I don't know what happened, but today I see it dripping, so I just moved here, so I don't really understand about these backflow things, so what do I do? Do I do anything about that dripping?
So in that situation, sometimes those areas are a matter of overpressurization due to the heat outside. So that could be one issue. The other issue could be the seals on the inside of it failing, so it's beginning to fail. The other issue could be that it's just like I said, mostly two possibilities. Overpressurization. So when it's 100 degrees outside, that water pressure builds up extremely high inside your home, especially when you're not using water in your home. You have water underground that's expanding due to heat. It's pushing back against that backflow. That's exactly what the backflow is there for, is to make sure that the high pressure from the heat doesn't push that water back into the city water source. So it may be working as it's supposed to, or it may be a matter of it starting to deteriorate and needs to be changed.
Do I need to call a plumber to check on it or not?
If you see an increase in flow,
Okay.
if it's just dripping, give it some time. It could just be, especially since we're in the hottest part of the summer, give it a little bit of time. That being said, when you do, and I know that there are people who are saying that they have failing also, if you're gonna pay the money to replace that system, I would not recommend the above ground system because the county is going away from them. They have more aptitude to fail. This system costs about the same thing to replace. Might have to pay a little more for them to bury it, but it is a safer system. And I do understand that there were some that failed, and this is a severe situation of high pressure coming into those. But for the long term, like the situation you're dealing with now, these are a more durable system. So that's, like I say, I'd love to hear from anybody who has a below ground system that failed, because I'd like to have them come and look at it just to see what that issue was.
Mine failed 6 months after I paid the loan.
The underground, can we get from the plumber you use just to find out
The
what?
tunnels.
Okay.
That was one that was recommended, and I paid for it, and he assured my roommate and I both, and personally said, no, the area won't happen. Well, it did.
How much?
Did he honor that and come out and replace it?
I don't want to discuss it.
Okay, so that's a
You know,
big
and it was a big mess and everything, but
So,
the answer is no.
all right. Well, I appreciate that. I know that becomes a bigger issue for some people, but I find getting good.
Long story, not going to the community, but
Okay.
for him to say that that was, pretty much wrong, because we asked him how will we know until the water bill comes, and he said, oh, we experienced that problem.
Which-
That was not true in my case.
Correct. Okay.
Jason, repeat the question so we can.
The issue was that her backflow had failed underground. 6 months after she installed it.
How do you know that?
Water bill,
Her water bill.
Be careful about that.
Yes, mine is a two-part question. The first part of my question is, why is it that we're just finding out about this now? As far as this water pressure being backed up or whatnot, because we just moved here a year ago, and these are relatively new homes. And if this was one second one, I'm hearing two different individuals in here talk about having the below water system installed and that they're having issues. Wouldn't it be like an important thing to do is to investigate and go and talk to those people who actually have below ground systems? Do a survey, a poll, so that you're gonna come back and give us accurate numbers. I don't wanna spend that money if you're gonna tell me that this may or may not work. You see what I'm saying? Because if I hear two people in here that are saying that these systems are failing, then what it would, to me, it would occur to me that I would go and talk to the residents that do have the below, and then have another meeting, and then address us so that we know exactly what we're doing. I don't want to blindly spend money, is what I'm saying. So I don't know how you're going to answer that, but I'm looking forward to hearing what you have to say.
Okay, the two-part question. The first part of the question is involved you having to replace it since this is a fairly new home, correct? Is that something?
No, the first part of my question is, why wasn't these built below ground from the get-go? These
So when
homes are not old. These
So
are-
your first part was about pressure, and he addressed pressure and said that anything can have pressure built up. It can happen here, it can happen in the next community after that.
That's not what my question is.
Right, okay. So going to
Right,
address,
that's why I'm talking to him. So the reason, my question was, why wasn't these systems built below ground prior to now? Like, what made them decide, like, these are not a good idea to have them above ground as opposed to having them below?
so anytime between, what is it, 4 and 10 years ago, these homes were built? That we had to really accurate.
2005.
But I'm within a good window here, right?
Started on 2005, Bill's first.
Well, mine was built in 2012, so we're
Okay.
talking a matter of 7 years. I'm not
Yes.
concerned with 05, I'm talking about 2000.
Understood. Hillsborough County at that time required everyone to install a backflow device. They were installed above ground and they were required to be tested once a year. A test report was sent in to maintain or they would shut off the water. After that, Hillsborough County found out that these systems were having issues. So they no longer required you to have, they put a moratorium on testing so that people wouldn't be incurring costs that they didn't need to incur. That was Hillsborough County's statement at the time. Since then, other companies have come out and looked for better systems they would provide to develop and be able to stop water from backing into the main water system that would not fail so easily compared to those systems. Generally, those systems were lasting 5 to 8 years, sometimes 10 years. But what was keeping them from failing so frequently was you were doing an annual test on them, the guy came up, your plumber came out and tested it for you. If it needed a new seal, he popped a new seal in it. Next year, he was coming out again, and he was taking care of the issue. That was Hillsborough County's decision at the time. As they saw the cost of people incurring, and they found other means to do this, other companies, other private corporations come out with other backflows that were tested. Hillsborough County said these were okay. The developer at the time had no other options but these above ground options that were approved by Hillsborough County. So they installed those. Once that changes, the plumbers have come around, they've got these new systems, Hillsborough County's approved it, people look into it, and they found a better source. I understand that there are people who are still having them fail. I will say, and in research that has been done, and this is not coming from me, this is from plumbers, from the county, from different people. There's 2 people in here that we've talked about had failed below ground. There's 55 that have above ground failure. So the numbers still lean toward the fact that the one that's underground for 2 reasons are better. And this is just from the county. 1, the lawn company that rides around here on those mowers can't hit them. 2, they fail less frequently. I use the term less frequently. We as the association, and I have to say this, I'm not trying to offend anyone, I have to say this. We as the association are not responsible for the backflow device for your covenants. That's what it says in the paper. However, as the association, the management of this community, we are looking into it any time, things that will better serve this community with the board of directors. We're looking for opportunities that make things easier and less expensive for you to live here, to keep costs down, and to keep failures from happening. That device, if it's underground, is currently the best available device. It may fail, but it's still that does not mean it's not the best available. The one that is above ground is not. And it fails more frequently. The heat of the sun alone causes that device to fail. She had one question about it. And then, sorry, did I answer your, did I answer?
My husband and I were given a quote of over $200 more to put it underground.
Right.
We didn't do that, number one, because we felt like it was a possibility that the county would not reimburse us to do something different than what we had
And that's a
initially.
possibility. You're correct. It is a possibility.
So we just fixed it
Okay.
and stayed over.
And that is your choice. You did have the option of underground. The county may, and Ms. Jackson will be probably the first test case of this, she did move it underground. She did incur more costs to do that. She took the risk that the county may not reimburse that portion. However, they may, but she took that risk. You had, if that's a educated decision by you to decide, I don't know that the county's gonna reimburse me for that, and you made that choice. That doesn't mean that you made a bad decision. And that new device that he installed, the one that was on there was probably there for 8-10 years.
No,
How old was it?
lower.
Did,
I was here in 15.
did you put that device in?
That was there.
It was there prior? Was the whole
We
new?
built it, yeah.
Yeah, okay, so it's been in there 4 years?
Yes.
Okay, so 4 years, you have at least that life on the new one that you put in probably. And that's all I can say, because the ones that, some have lasted 12 years in this community, yours lasted 4, and that's the above ground version of it, that's what takes place.
So, you mentioned a few minutes ago numbers, 2 and 55. Isn't it more important to mention 2 out of 473 or,
866?
well, not that everyone's got it underground.
Right.
But when this young lady said 6 months ago, I didn't hear her say 6 days ago, an underground failed. So how, is that, how moot and how relevant are we talking about underground failing on this
Yes.
situation?
And that's why I would like, and I agree, I want to look into it. People have had failures of the underground version, I'd like to know why. Because if there is an issue with it, that could be a matter of just a faulty device in itself, but if it's something that's occurring commonly, yeah, we'd like to know, because if there's a better avenue for it, we'd like to get that information out. That was what I was going to get to. And that was the first question I asked, if anybody has an underground unit that failed, I'd like to know more about it, because the information we're getting is it's a better device. If we see that it's not, and we feel that it's important information to put out, just like anything else, we definitely want to put that out. There was somebody over in this area, and then I
Before we go tearing off and burying these overflows, don't you think that we should form a committee? Because for those of us who do live in villas and have this problem, that maybe we can get better prices. My neighbor got his done for $385.
Right.
And you paid how much? 6?
Something.
It's unbelievable, the vast amounts that
Yes.
we're hearing here. Being that said, we should have a committee for those who are affected by this, because builders right now are not putting in these backflow. So it's not even required by the county, all right? So let's just take it up a notch. We need to know what today's standard is.
Sure.
And most of us that come from areas, water comes in one and comes out another.
Right.
There's no backflow here.
Right, and absolutely, and I love committees.
So I
It makes it
think
easier.
that
Yeah.
we propose that only those of us sit on a committee that are affected by this. And I'll take that one step further. And that one step further is, for most of us that lived on Seneca Falls and Blue Water, prior to this happening, our water pressure decreased, I don't know, 20% maybe? The majority of us have either called up here, I'll take your information, call a plumber, we have a pump problem. We've given so many stories that I think those of us that are sitting in here have had it about up to here. All right? And with that being said, this word being very important, it is a moral imperative. All right? You may not understand it, but when people don't have water, or they are notified above and beyond when they should have been, you can expect people to be upset. Because if anyone in this community has a compromised health system and they drank contaminated water, they'd be real sick right now.
I agree.
And the priority has to be that everybody knows about it at the same time, not the day after or the next day after that.
Did you receive it?
Because you cannot live without water.
Understood. Did you receive the email that said that it was boiled?
I received it on Saturday, a
No, it was
little
sent-
after the fact. It's right here.
And it was sent on Friday as well. Did
Then
anyone
something's
receive?
wrong with your
Did
ability to
anyone receive
communicate.
Friday notification for boiled water?
Yeah.
It was sent on the same system that the Saturday email was sent. Exact same system with the exact same. It was sent. One second. I'm going to take that for a second. Because this is something that I was hoping did not.
People don't check their email every 15 minutes.
Okay, so currently, I understood. That's understood. However,
I mean, there's gotta be
okay,
enough.
that's understood.
And not
However,
everybody has a computer.
understood.
It's strange to hear.
Right. However, as an association, and as the manager here, we have one avenue to reach out to the entire community. That is through your website and a mass email system that sends an email to notify people. It was Hillsborough County's responsibility, when they opened that line, to notify everybody that was affected by it, that there was a boil water notice, not the association. We took the boil water notice that they sent out to a few homes, knowing that there was more people affected than where they put those out to. We scanned it, and we sent it to everyone and said, if you were affected, you should boil your water. That was the notification sent. There was a reminder sent, on Saturday. That reminder was given because we knew there were people that are out of town, there are people that were not in their home, and they may have not checked their email and received it. That's why we sent the second one.
And you also would add, if you didn't know if you were affected, i.e. gone, be
You
covered
should
in
boil
water.
your water.
You got that right.
And that was the message that was sent. Beyond that, we do not have any, other than calling 866 people with 2 people at the desk, we had no way of notifying anybody. That being said, we are currently looking into two options for other communication systems. One, either a text message service that will send a text message to everybody that signs up for it, a robocall service like the schools have if your kid doesn't show up at school, or if the school's out for the day, it sends an automatic message, and the third would be the email that's sent out. We're looking at other options so that we can get information out like that better and hit more people with it. That was the system we had in place. That's what we went with, and we kept sending emails to try to cover as many people as we could. That being said, the responsibility on that is to Hillsborough County. That was their water main that broke. We got every bit of information we could from that. There were people that have sent me emails that have stated that we didn't get enough information from them. When Hillsborough County came out with the plan that they had, it showed one pipe going down Falls Boulevard. We know that's not true. It showed the valves that are set up. We knew that those were incorrect. We did know that there was a break in the line, and they were going to have to shut down water to stop that. When they did that, we didn't know whose water was going to be lost. However, we did not want to not send information to you saying that your water is going to be shut off. Half this community could have had shut off water, and they would have said, why didn't you notify us? We didn't know who all to notify, so we notified everyone. And that's the only thing I know to do in good faith to all of you in this community, is to make sure that you hear that there's a possibility that your water's going to be shut
But
off.
if we all heard that the water was going to be shut off, that email, I think that was issued by Ashley.
No. It's an issue about-
We all knew that the water was going off because they were coming out.
Right.
But we didn't know after that.
I work for a health department,
You know,
and it is the health department's responsibility to boil the notice.
They didn't do it.
It is the health department.
Why didn't the county put a
They
tag on
don't
every door
always-
then?
They don't do that, that's the problem. But, like the power system now, they do have a thing where you can sign up for text, and I think maybe Hillsborough, that might be a suggestion, I don't know, although I like their suggestion to have no text.
Sure.
So my question is, I keep hearing that this was a Hillsborough County responsibility. Why is it Hillsborough County sitting in here talking about it?
Because they're not part of this, they're not,
They're responsible for before, don't you think that they're the ones that should be answering the question? Because what's happening
Absolutely.
is you're getting pelted,
Right.
and, you know, you're getting conflictions between one person saying they didn't get an email, another person, and you're saying, oh, no, it wasn't our responsibility in the first place. Let's address the people that it actually should be addressed to, and that's Hillsborough County.
Exactly. I don't disagree. The difference is getting Hillsborough County to hold this meeting, nearly impossible. But me as the manager of this association, this community, I wanted to bring you all in so that, because I know there's these grievances out there. I want to make sure that everybody has a joint effort to resolve the issue and make sure everybody has the best information you have. Getting Hillsborough County in here, it's not going to happen. However, you can take it to, you can go to one of their committee meetings. We can band together, you guys as a community can band together, go to a meeting and say, this is what occurred. We are organizing this so that if a voice needs to be heard, we are sending the same voice as a community. That's why we're here today. That's one of the things that Mrs. Jackson asked for on Friday, and I committed to her, when we were still dealing with it, right? We had this discussion, and I committed to her that I would help with this in any way I could, and she committed to spearheading anything that she could. That's why you were all asked to be here, so we as a community, as one voice, can resolve this issue, or at least address it, so that in the future, we have one, the association can respond better. One of the things we're looking at is communication options, so that we get better information out. Two, if somebody had damage, a lot of us had damage, to include the association, we had damage as well. We want to all address that together, so that the county commissioner knows that we had an issue, and that it needs to be addressed. That's the second thing. The third thing is, as a community, if there's things that the community, that we need to do, we speak as one voice, and we all need to understand what the responsibilities are of ourselves and the association, and that's why we're here. I could never get, we could, don't get me wrong, we could really put pressure, and we could get the county commissioner in here together. Me making a phone call is not going to make that happen. Us making phone calls to the county commissioner is what addresses this, and this is where we use it.
I was unsure why it took till Monday morning. That was disconcerting to me with the Saturday information. Did they have to do more repairs, or did it take that long?
No.
It was the
And
testing.
that, we'll tell you. No, so here's what it is. Yes, the testing. So once they open a underground water line, there must be 48 hours of good tests before they can release it. That's why it took so. It wasn't a matter of any more work being done. There was a few phone calls that said, why did it take you guys? Once the water line break is complete, they don't test it for 24 hours. And then from 24 hours, it's 48 hours of good clean testing.
One suggestion I would make is when you put out, we've had where you have to shut the water down. Perhaps it should be prefaced by, be prepared, there might be a bigger problem. So make sure, I feel like I have a responsibility to have fresh water in my home.
Sure.
That is if drinking water, and this is just a tiny prelude to, God forbid, a hurricane.
Absolutely.
Because this is nothing, and I've lived in Florida 43 years. The water goes out for days, there's no communication, it's craziness. You've
Not
got to
reliable,
be prepared to
yes.
take care of yourself.
Yeah, everybody should have water. I was in Hurricane Michael, and we didn't have water for 2 weeks. So you guys have to be prepared. It's not a swim. It's gonna happen.
You want to say? I think it's important.
I want to bury my backflow, and that one day she spent over $600.
Yeah.
What plumber was that?
Pink plumber.
Pink plumber.
I heard some people paying $380.
So I can only tell you what happened to me and what he suggested. So our water was like a firefighter and it was flowing. And, the guy from Apollo Beach came when it was flooding over and put a Band-Aid on it. So he did return a phone call and there were 54 other people. This is the first problem we found when we get out to our house.
Did the plumber give you a price?
No, he gets busy, he's servicing a lot of other people. We did it 24/7, and I asked him if there was a cheaper solution. And what he told me was, I can kind of put a Band-Aid on it for you, but I can guarantee it's not gonna work. So you want to spend $200 and know that at some point it's gonna break down, or do you spend $600 and you're gonna sleep a little better? It's not, everybody, it's a choice that everybody needs to take individually. My husband and I chose to do the 600. Not that we can afford it, but I don't want to go through this again.
Can I say something really quick? I'm one that, in 2016 or 17, we buried our backflow preventer. The board, I think at the time, found Gonzalez Plumbing, who did a group rate. So, Donna, you're talking about that? It was either $289 or $299. And then, but I did hear, that was when Ken was here and you all were requesting more be buried. He had gone up to like 300 and something, but maybe he didn't have enough to come in here and do it all. And Apollo Beach Plumbing, they do not do it at all. He doesn't even pull the permits and all of that. So I would check back with Henry.
Part of that issue too with the backflows, the cost at that time. Sure. Part of the issue that day with her cost was also the fact that we were calling on an emergency after hours call. So there is some of that built in. There's probably
I understand part of the problem is that it costs $80 per permit. And why in the world is everybody,
There was no break that pulled on my house, and I asked them if it was necessary.
well, that's what they charged my neighbors. They had to have to have $80.
Well,
so here's kind of getting.
Yeah, the permit, and Gonzalez did a whole bunch of it, that Tammy was talking about. The county had agreed then to issue a permit per building. They will not do that anymore, so everybody has to pay the permit fee, that's why it went up.
So what he had said was, at the time that they were doing that deal, the county was allowing kind of a group overall permit to do all those at once, and they are no longer allowing you to do that as a group, to come in and say, we need 10 units gonna be done.
Okay, that's my next question, is if someone wants to do it, now the price has gone from 300 to 600? Or did you do something special beneath the ground?
this picture is what I did, which Jason was holding.
The picture's not gonna help me,
So-
because I basically don't understand the process.
Neither do I. I'm not a plumber.
Neither
I
am
know
I.
how to flush a toilet, I can do it to the garage. This is what it looks like underground.
Yes.
It goes, so instead of you having a thing that looks like.
No, my question is, Gonzalez did it for 300, he did many of them.
Is he certified?
Yes, he pulled the permits.
Okay.
You had to do, the association came up with this gentleman, and it was, if you wanted to do it on your own, you had to pay for the whole permit, $80. If you got your neighbor who was in the villa beside you to do it, then it was $40. My question is, the ones that he buried, he only charged $300. They're not.
It's called supply and demand. You know,
Well, and I understand that, but we're only talking 9 months. I mean, he was on the street.
So the major issue that day, and I'll say again, the major issue that day on that cost was the fact that a phone call was put in after 4:30 on a Friday. And to get a plumber out on a 24-hour emergency plumber out, then you're paying for improved maintenance. They dig up the holes and put it back. That's what she was paying for. It's an unfortunate situation at that time, and that's why they cost us so much. So I do want to address as many questions as we can, but because we're kind of running a little long, I want to make sure everybody understands. As was stated earlier, if everyone in here that has issues, or people who want to address putting together a committee to look into alternatives to the above ground backflow preventer, I'm absolutely for that, and I'll assist in any way I can with that. Somebody has to head it up. Those committees are your committees. I assist with helping them get organized, finding a location, and answering any questions I can. No issue with that. I love committees because it makes my communication with your community easier. On the other side of this, and this is for the people who are, because some people are getting antsy, if you did not receive a form to fill out for any damage that occurred in your home, as far as the backflow preventer, or even a faucet that may have overpressurized and blew the seals on. There are forms on this desk up here. It also has an email that was sent to the commissioner.
No, the email that I got a response, I did get a response from the commissioner's legislative liaison, and I did, the guy that handed me this form that looks like a driver's license vendor, I said to him, who's your boss and who's your boss's boss, and so on and so on and so on. So what happened was, I called and I said, this form is crazy, I didn't have a car accident, I have no water. And this is what I was told. That's kind of like a generic form that they use for everything. And if you look at it, I have one right here somewhere. If you look at it, on the top of it says citizen claim form. And there's a little thing right here, property damaged other than vehicle. It's very small. That's not what my eyes hit. This is where you have to explain to them what the damage was that was done. So what I'm going to do, since I don't speak plumber language, is I'm going to attach my invoice with a big circle around it and say, see Exhibit A. Because there is no possible way that 90% of us in here today can list what happened in this little spot. And there's a cover letter that came with it, which I gave both of them to Jason. I think he has forms for everyone if you need it. You send it in. They say you can fax it. However, I don't believe that. The recommendation I made to Jason yesterday or on Friday was if we do it in unison and we all stand together, we stand a better chance of getting reimbursed.
So,
If one person sends it in, they're going to say, well, there's only one event, why should we pay it? But if you add up the people, whether you pay $200 or $800, you're talking about $20,000, $30,000, $40,000, $50,000. They're forced to address the issue.
yeah, so those forms are up here on the desk. So before you leave, please grab one. You can turn that into the desk, and we are collecting them so that we can put them all at once. Now, I will say we don't want to wait an extended period of time to get those in. If you do want help filling it out, please stop by and see me. I'll also try to help have the desk know as much as they can about helping. They're not plumbers, they've never been in development, so their language on it may be not much better than the person who's asking for the help, but I'll try to help them as much as I can. And I'll get to as many people as I can. So we will help.
Be sure they put the date, I think it's 21st.
Yeah.
Make sure you put the date of the damage the 21st, even if your plumber didn't come out till the next day. Make sure that you put the date on here, and we'll make sure the ones you bring up does, that have the actual date on it. Okay, we got to,
Anybody else who has questions regarding this, I will say that I want to address any questions we have. If you want to stick around for a few minutes if somebody has something that they feel the whole group needs to hear.
Before everybody leaves, I just want to know the health part of this. Did anybody get a tag on your door that said boil order, or did anybody get one that said all clear? You can use your phone.
I got both of them.
So why did a few houses get a tag from the county and not all of us?
Because it's the county.
I
Because it's the county.
would answer that way, but that was why that's why we sent that email out, because we knew everybody was not going to see that. So we sent that.
We need to come from your home, email, was interested in a below-ground backflow
How's that?
to get together, so if we can get a head count of how many homes are interested in doing that,
I'll do that.
we stand a better chance of a plumber. I'm going to have this job for 45 months, he's reputable, he's honest, and he does a good job, and I have no problem at all.
I will send out an email requesting information from anybody.
he's the one who gave us the group rate before. He was the only one who gave us
That
the group
company's
rate.
been around longer, I've been here 50
All right.
years.
Go ahead.
One additional thing, I went under last year, I had a tiny leak, tiny. I thought they were gonna take it out, la la la. My water bill from a tiny leak was a couple of $100. If you have a water bill, there is remediation.
Okay,
This is
yes.
another thing. But there is a process that you have to get through, and I was reimbursed on my water bill with a I sent in the repair, and it's red tape, it's going through the county. But if you have a water bill, and I mean, if you have this stuff flushing out, so there's another process there to get money back.
And if anybody has that issue, if anybody has that issue, come see me and we'll get the information as far as remediation. I will say that there's a lot going on, so have to be patient, but we will work through trying to find out make sure that everybody knows what the process is. I'm gonna take 2 more questions.
Is there a list of plumbers that will do this, since I'm just now seeing a problem of drifting? Who do I know? I'm new in the area. Who do I know to call to address this?
We do have some at the desk, however, Gonzalez Plumbing in the area. Police Plumbing does not do it. Pink Plumber does it. Pricing is gonna be different between each plumber, but all you need to know is make sure it's a licensed contractor. I would call a few of them. They're the ones that work in this community. We do have a couple at the desk, but I would make, Police Plumbing is on that list, but they do not do the bathrooms. They still do it right now. Everybody's pretty busy right now, so I would, if you need to have that, if you're gonna wanna have that done, I would reach out to them now.
Who is that?
Gonzalez Plumbing, I will say that,
No, suppose you, at my house, the water went off, like you said, I invested it, it's not leaking. Do I have to do anything? Do I have to spend this money? Is it a matter of time before that valve comes up, and it's gonna be 3 times expensive, 8 years, something like that?
if you have a very liberal sense of matter of time, because that valve will fail eventually. Will it be next week? Will it be next year? Will it be 5 years? I can't tell. That's the reality of those backflows. We're not having them tested every 2 years, so nobody's looking at the
So
seal.
I want to take my time, 3 or 4 quotes, it's not leaking.
Now, you start seeing drip heavily and pour out, and start pulling back.
Can you tell everybody in closing, well, whatever. You mentioned 2 other means of communication you're exploring.
Yes.
Can you give us a ballpark idea or time frame, if and when, or what your thoughts are on that, when that might materialize, if they do?
What I'm hoping to do is have within the next couple of days, some options to present to the board, because they will have to approve the change, the cost of it. So I'm thinking by the next board meeting next month, we should have something to vote on. Yes, sir.
I need your opinion on this and how it may affect the process going forward. We got our notice on Thursday that the water was shut off the sitting at home, and I got the door, and I said, we need to change this. Shut it off. At least I have a building. All she's got to do is people are
That's true. Because that is my county only it's provided through a month. Once it hits that backflow, it's at the end of fall. They can't work on it.
I'm sorry, but I'm sorry.
Let me address this, let me say real quick, and then I'll come to you. The question revolved around the county not being able to go on our private roads to do work, and that is true. Anything past the backflows at the end of the avenue down, at the end of Falls Boulevard, becomes the community plumbing. That's why in the association, from those backflows to your backflow, I take care of. From your backflow to your faucets, you take care of. From that valve at the beginning of 41 to the first backflow, the county manages. They cannot come across lines, we cannot touch their line, they cannot touch our line. That's why once we found out it was a county line, we ceased all methods of improving that problem and had to call the county for them to come out. So that's why that is.
Jason, it's a question that needs to be addressed under that moral imperative, because if we're having water pressure issues in the community because valves aren't working, backflow isn't working, I don't care what the problem is at a particular time. I do know for a fact that when the county was here and they performed their inspection on the yellow fire hydrants that belong to the county, my question that needs to be addressed is when were the HOA fire hydrants, the red ones,
Very speculative.
tested? There's no tags on them. How would we know? We haven't seen anybody come out to do them.
We met, that's what we're here to do. As far as your fire hydrants, those are inspected by us. On the county side, they inspect
Do
those.
we know how much pressure we're getting out of those red fire hydrants?
I don't know on the red fire hydrants, that's the blue fire hydrants, the we talking about the backflows. Right now, we're receiving 80 PSI out of those, which is the same.
I have very little water pressure.
Okay, so going on,